Let's have a go and let's see what the crack. SoulDragger, what's going on, my friend? How are you, bro?
I'm doing absolutely great. Thank you so much for having me, Sam. I hope you're doing great as well, my brother.
Yeah, man. I mean, life is good. I mean, I'm sitting here comfy in the afternoon. Like, the time difference is always a little bit weird to me. That you guys are like 5 hours ahead of us.
Oh, it's weird. It's weird. I'm telling you, it's weird. But it is what it is, right?
Sure. I mean, we're
Yeah.
global now, baby. Let's go.
Oh, yes, absolutely. But the beauty of this whole thing is that we're able to still, connect and like connect like these on a platform like this. It wouldn't have had happened like a decade ago. Just like this, we had one of those tiny little webcams and stuff,
I
but
remember them.
this is great. The technology is absolutely evolving, and it's keeping us along, which is even amazing.
Absolutely. So, for the international guests that aren't really putting their eyes on Pakistan or haven't watched any tournaments for the last while, do you want to explain who you are and what you do over in the Pakistani scene and the more global scene? I've seen you kind of traveling around a little bit more now.
Oh yeah. It has been a long journey, me. I was a player, back in the arcade in the 90s. I would really feel fortunate enough to be a part of arcade gaming in 90s. So I think I relate to a lot of the stuff that, these newcomers are going through. So I can relate to all the players. So it is easier for me to, know what they have and what they don't have. So in order to fill their void, I'm here and I have taken that responsibility that, I need to be able to provide them with such opportunities that I wasn't able to get. So, probably that's the only motivation why I'm doing this. And, I was always very talkative about the games and everything, even if it could be a smaller dialogue from a character, from a stage sound to a stage design. Later on I became a game designer too, so I
Oh,
know all of the stuff that is happening. So basically, I'm by profession I'm a CG artist, and so I know the art stuff and everything. So looking at these players, they and their talent, I was just an average talent. I wasn't even an extraordinary one. Let's be real. But I was always one of those guys in the arcade that will participate in a tournament and maybe will steal the whole show with one combo in one round in one match. That's it. Then then I have all my fans left, right, and center, and I will feel accomplished. Not caring about whether I'm gonna win the tournament. Forget
yeah, yeah.
it. That's all.
You've gotten your clip, so that's
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So and then so you were saying obviously that like you were always talking and stuff about the game, so that obviously kind of naturally pushed you into commentary. Uh,
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I felt like I didn't become a commentator myself, or I didn't even thought that I'm gonna be a commentator. Let's be real. I'm not gonna lie on a freaking stream or whatever. People told me I should be a commentator, so I started listening to them. So even when I will go into a local tournament, people once I was so excited. I was basically announcing players.
right.
Okay, hey you've got your match next. All right, hey you gotta be here, right? So one day I basically just commentated a round. It was probably Hida Malik and Abbas Liaquat who were playing
Yeah.
back in Tekken Tag Tournament 2.
Sheesh.
So so I commentated that round. So the next tournament I went and everyone will start to ask me, "Are you commentating this tournament? Are you doing this commentary?" And I was like, "Shit, these guys have taken that round really seriously."
Yeah.
And I did not take anyone seriously. I'm gonna be honest. I thought that these guys are probably trolling me,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't take that one seriously until Takro Cup. back in like 2019
Yeah.
that happened. And I was a little bit nervous on the commentary side of thing, but then thanks to Spag, he told me something that I will always cherish in my entire life. He made it so ridiculously easy for me by giving me an advice. He told me, just be yourself. And then I said, Spag, is it that easy? Do I just need to be myself and just say whatever I feel like about the game and what's happening? He said, this is it. I said, oh, that's even easy.
Yeah.
So I think thanks to Spag for giving me that motivation, and you're just giving me and pushing me that it's not a big deal. But with that, after that, I took a time. I'm still learning. The learning process never ends, and it's been a great journey, I must say.
Yeah, I mean, I can see you kind of running around and kind of doing a couple more shows. You're heading to Dubai or the UAE.
Mm.
Um,
So the thing is, it's still
oh,
is, all right?
sorry. All right, Drift,
Yeah.
edit that out. We've got an editor. So
Shit, I didn't even tweet about this. All right.
but
Okay.
no,
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 it's
no, it's
okay.
fine. It's not live,
It's
so we're
okay.
we're we're pre-recording
Yeah.
everything, so we can
No,
just
no,
edit
no,
that
no.
out.
Even if you put it, it's totally fine. The thing is, I have the visa applied in the queue, so
Hmm.
I'll find it out like within a day or so whether I'm going to the Slash and Dash uh,
Nice.
tournament, the
Awesome.
Emirates Showdown in Dubai. So yes, there are a lot of people coming. I'm really excited
Yeah,
to
dude.
be there, but I just need to win this visa matchup first. So
That
yeah.
that that actually kind of puts me on to a really really interesting point as well for Pakistan, because obviously you guys have some of the best, like realistically speaking, the best fighting game players in the world, and now like you're after establishing you guys yourself as like a really really solid commentary team as well. Like that visa game seems to be the last hurdle that you guys have to overcome, right? Like I mean, even Arslan is still having problems, and he's just won everything. Like I mean, he has the kind of receipts to prove that he isn't traveling for any other reason except to beat up these Americans, um, like
Yeah.
in tech. And I realized I phrased that kind of badly, like if we're talking about a
Yeah.
visa thing, like he's just going to win at these tournaments.
Yeah. I mean, it has been the case in the past. It was worse in the past. It gotten better, meanwhile. But then again, the current situation is slightly off.
Mm.
So, a lot of people would like to basically exit, the
Ah,
country
yes.
because of the situation. So maybe the embassies are thinking, oh, people are leaving. So then they start checking, oh, do they have job? All the visa criteria and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
So they start over evaluating you.
yeah.
So maybe it's that. But I do hope, like, I must say that I should be able to get a visa. Like, Dubai visa is like a piece of cake. It used to be a piece of cake, but all of a sudden now you were hearing even Dubai visa is like something. Wow, dude, you gotta be careful about that. It's crazy.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
seems like such a pity as well, because like I mean I feel like if you guys had the same ease as like Irish people do to get visas and stuff,
Mm. Oh yes.
Pakistan would be the most dominating region in most, like King of Fighters and Tekken definitely. But like I mean I know that you guys have like some sick Valorant players as well and stuff. Like you have like a full kind of esports network now developed. I like
Yeah.
so when I say like now, what I mean is that I'm only kind of learning about it now. I'm sure that your guys' esports scene has been like around for a long time and stuff. It's just
Yeah. Understood.
for like a
Yeah.
Westerner to kind of go over there and see it and talk to people and stuff about esports and stuff within the country and stuff, I feel
Yeah.
like with the dedication that you guys are able to put to the game, to any game really, I think if visa issues weren't an issue, if there were just visas instead of visa issues, the
I swear to
world
God. Yeah. So I mean, we had a very um, shallow esports in the country initially, but then Somail, the guy from Dota, he was the youngest Dota player. He basically went abroad. He did some waves. He was the youngest to basically
Right.
then win the tournament with the Evil Genius team, I do believe.
Oh, snap. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
so that dude basically, like he was the first guy to basically shed some light on the esports world of the country. And then, Arslan went and, he did what he did. And he did in a manner that, it became a huge news. And of course, even then, if we recall, like back in 2019 when 2018, oh yeah, Evo Japan was 2018, I think, or
The
maybe
double
2019.
Evo was 18, wasn't it? But
Yeah,
just before
yeah, I think it
lockdown.
was
Yeah, yeah.
18. So even he didn't know what to do. Like he had freaking Pakistani money, man, in Japan, man. That's how much he knew. That how he knew to be
Wait, he
traveling
brought
and
over
like going
like
through.
Pakistani rupees to Japan. Oh my god. Wow.
So so that's what Arslan could do in those times. But Alhamdulillah, now that he has been traveling and everything, the process has gotten a lot easier for him. And of course, since other boys are also making waves, so it's getting easier for them as well. But even then, their visas get rejected.
Mm.
Aves Hani didn't get the visa for Evo Japan. By the way, he had applied. He has been to Japan before, so stuff like these can really like overthrow some of the players, and they will start feel really unmotivated. So I think it is probably the case. But you were here. You probably saw the enthusiasm among the players, and now that we're our players are top players in the world.
Mm.
So I think everyone is really excited and everyone is really motivated to just put themselves at the front, and they're trying their best to make sure that they get to travel abroad as well. But then again, it's the visa. There are basically, there's no esports federation here that basically regulates all of these stuff.
Yeah.
Imagine like we have regulation for cricket. One can easily get visa if you're a cricketer, and you have to travel abroad and stuff and whatnot. But then again, we're still in the process of getting a federation, and just looking after these matters. But I'm pretty sure that we should be able to get it soon. So I'm really hopeful for that we will get rid of this freaking visa shit as soon as possible. But it is what it is. Like, we have to go through this. Maybe this is the time and this is the process.
Yeah, I mean, like it, it might sound a little bit, because obviously I'm coming from a place where visas aren't an issue, and or they're not an issue and all. But I love the idea that even if you practice the game so hard and you're beating everybody in your kind of local scene or whatever, and then you finally get a chance, you're like, all right, I think I'm ready to take on the Americans or the Koreans, or whatever. Like, you still have this last thing. So when you
Yeah.
arrive at the tournament, all of your fighting is already done. Like, you're just like, the tournament's the easy part. It's getting to it. It's like building up that reputation within your scene
Oh
and
my
stuff.
God, that's crazy. Like, um, yeah. By the way, there was the Tiger uppercut just
Mm.
happened, and there was a guy, Pakistani guy, who's not even an active player, and he just participated in the tournament, and that dude basically reached in the grand final with Book. It's crazy, man. It's unbelievable.
Who was that
And
there? Who was in Tiger Uppercut?
Sam Styles.
Sam
That's
Styles.
his.
He's got a good name.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah. Oh yes, he shares your name, man. Yeah. So Sam is a guy who plays locally. He used to play actively back in time. So he was one of those guys who will basically do a freaking upset in a tournament. So
Right.
that upset guy goes to like, he is basically a native Thailander now. He's basically teaching over there. He's doing a
Okay.
job. So he wanted to like participate in that tournament, and he got lucky. and he got to reach grand final. He lost the grand final from Book. So I was there on the Book stream last night, and I congratulated him. I said, "You played a fantastic game." He was like, "What is Sam's Sam? How do you rate? Where do you rate Sam?" I said, "He's an average player." He said, "Average player? Okay, okay, okay." So Book actually went into shock that he was an average. I said he's an average player who basically does surprises in the tournaments, in the local tournament. So he was very, very shocked. And then he added something very interesting, which I was so happy to listen from him. He first emphasized on the fact that Thai people are not basically playing much because this game is older. So
Hmm.
we need to lift up Thailand and the player base even more to stay strong. And then he also praised the Pakistani people for staying active in the game. So he said that you guys have the active players. This is why you guys are probably strong.
Yeah, it was wild. So like here, as soon as you say
Mm.
like you're involved in esports, the next question is usually, oh, what game? Like,
Mhm.
and um, like nobody like I mean Tekken is the old game. That's what people like. Everyone mentions Tekken 3. They say, "Oh, I remember Tekken 3." Right in
Yeah.
Pakistan, I was outside the mall and a guy just came up and he was talking to me and we were having a bit of a chat. He said, "Oh, so what are you doing here in Pakistan?" And I said, "Oh, I'm here for an esports tournament." And he said, "Oh, like Tekken 7." And I was like, that's never happened to me before. That's never anybody's first guess. Just straight up like
Wow.
Tekken 7. And I was like, yeah, that's actually the game that I'm here for. Like, it
Wow.
was wild. Like, so obviously the attitude. I mean, I'm sure Arslan definitely had like a huge part in that sort of movement that Tekken is now the
Yeah.
big game and stuff. But
Absolutely.
I mean, just
Mm.
for that, like randomly on the street, and this wasn't at the venue as well. This was over at the mall, so it wasn't
Mm.
like there was people there for Tekken. Like this was just a random dude.
Yeah.
Like it was
Yeah.
crazy. So
People think. Sorry to cut you out. You want to
no,
finish
no,
your
no, no. I
sentence?
was just saying that the attitude that for Tekken is now like that's your big game, which is awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like people, especially I'm going to talk about this now that I've gotten the opportunity to say something on a podcast. I must state it out since a lot of people will be listening to this. There are some misconception about um, there's a misconception about what I say on Twitter and how people understand those tweets.
Okay,
People think that I'm over exaggerating and stuff, which can totally be fine. I mean, I write like that sometimes, and
sure.
I like writing like that because I'm a
We're
commentator.
commentators, yeah.
I have to hype shit up, right?
Of course.
So what I believe is that what there is no way I can take off the credit from Arsalan for what he has done. But even Arsalan knows that when he was talking about why he wanted to be a great player, the logic dictates because he has been seeing some great players around him. That was probably the only reason why he wanted to be a great player,
Sure.
and then we go back in the past, we see his footage back in Tekken Tag Tournament 2 and Tekken 6. He's talking about, winning abroad tournaments. Like, who would think like that back then when you were nobody, like, right? So our son was even talking about that. So this is Tekken 6. I'm gonna talk about Tekken 3 for now.
Okay.
Tekken 3 was one of those games. We has guys like Unez. I'm taking some new names.
Okay.
Unez, a
Who knows?
freaking Mishima god. All right.
Really? Yeah.
Back in Tekken 3, he used to mimic Jangeksu. He used to watch Jangeksu from Korea
Right.
to improve his Mishima play. So then we had Pola. Imagine the name. Pola was the most angry gamer of all time. Guy who's freaking kicking cabinets, kicking
No.
controllers. You know, we have characters like these. And
Mm,
then we had a Shazad. Shazad was slightly a nerfed version of Pola. He was less
right.
angry. And all of these guys were like Unez was Jin Kazama main, and both of these guys, Pola and Shazad, they were ogre mains, bro.
Ooh, vicious.
Ancient ogre mains, right? So these guys were some of the beasts, and guess what? Even then, there will come a guy from Gujranwala, from where Atif Bhatt is,
Okay.
and will slay those guys. There will appear a guy from a freaking village, and he's boarding these guys, right? So it's crazy. If you're really gonna ask me who's the best player in this country right now, I would say I don't know. I don't know who's the best in this country. Why? Because there might be a tournament, someone will just appear, body everyone, and we say, this is the dude.
Yeah.
You know. So it's crazy. And so I'm always trying to back my boys
Mm-hmm.
in that fashion because I know the history,
Yeah.
right? So a lot of these Western audiences think that, I'm always playing that Pakistan is the best region card everywhere. And we are the best. And I'm not humble or something like that. Listen, as a Pakistani national, it is natural for me to support my boys,
Of
right?
course.
But that's completely not true, basically. Why? Because I support Kalkor. She has nothing to do with me. I freaking support Skywalker in a freaking Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
I freaking support Bokaman. Come on. And I support Yanarang. I support everyone, man. Come on.
Of
So
course.
it's not like that. So I wanted to use this platform to clear that one out. And someone advised me. I think I must just say his name.
Okay.
Aris advised me not to give a damn about these guys.
Fair.
Okay?
Fair.
So I'm not gonna give a damn about the such opinions, but it's natural for me to like support my countrymen, and as a national commentator, I should be doing that, right?
100%.
But that doesn't mean that I do not support other athletes from around the world. It's silly to think like that, but I'm happy to be able to represent my country in on the commentary side, and I'm happy to be a part of this great FGC that we have around the world. From around the world, we've seen so many great people, so many great teachers, so many great coaches, so many great players, so many great TOs, man. This
Mm.
community is full of amazing people, and I'm just a small part of that big community, and I'm really privileged to be a part of this community.
I mean, definitely. Just from the brief like time that I got to spend in like Maniacs and kind of hanging out with some of the like Pakistani players or whatever, it is such a fantastic community that you guys have developed there. And obviously, if you're around in the arcade since Tekken 3 days and stuff, like like that's been that didn't just come out with Arsenal and Ash's win. That has been there, and like exactly what you were saying, you touched on a point there that was really really important for everybody to remember, that the reason Arsenal and Ash is so good is because he plays against good players. Like, so it's
Yes.
not just him and then kind of the next tier down. I mean, we've seen it now with Atif Butt and, like Dawood and players like that and that sort of stuff. But the entire
Wow.
Pakistani scene is so strong right now. And it's very important
Yeah.
that this isn't just a fluke. This isn't just one person or two people or whatever that are like leagues above the rest. Arslan Ash even says he's not the best player in Pakistan. It's I don't know, man. I could go on and on about this, and like a lot of what I got from people as I was over there is people were asking me how was I finding Pakistan and stuff, and like
Yeah.
to me I didn't understand that question because I was like, It was like, yeah, your country's awesome, dude. Like, you know that, but now I know that as well. Of course, I'm having a good time. But it was only when I kind of asked the question after that, I'm like, yeah, it's all been fine. Why? People say, oh, well, the media portrays Pakistan as this, like, awful, awful country, and, like, you know, there's war and desert and stuff happening all the time. And I literally saw none of that. Like, but like, do you know, like the sort of Americanized.
I agree.
I don't
I
want to
agree.
offend anybody with that like stereotype,
Yeah,
but
I
that's
know,
that's the sort of that's what the
listen. Media doesn't belong to anyone.
sure.
It only believes in agenda, and it could be my country's media, your country's media, or someone else's country's media.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's wild the rap that Pakistan kind of took in the global media or whatever, or the
Yeah, I
just the
mean,
media.
you pointed out, since you pointed out, like now that you pointed out, there was Pakistan used to have a very good CS:GO team as well, by the way, in case nobody knows. So we had a very great good sorry, not CS:GO, but CS 1.6 maybe.
Right. Yeah.
So we had a very good team. The team went to abroad, maybe in a European country. All of the people were asking them question. Do you guys get chocolates in your country? So that's much basically how media has, overtaken their point of view about a certain country. So it's crazy, like, that, like, just like you mentioned, like the desert and all that stuff. It's pretty common, like, when it comes to Pakistan and Afghanistan. Everyone thinks that Pakistan is Afghanistan, right? It's
Fair.
probably that kind of the war is going on, and so basically it has nothing to do with that. And now that you have mentioned it, so I just wanted to quickly, refer to that 1.6 CS team, man. We had it. So, like, people here, there are in gaming way back. I recall myself playing a Mortal Kombat 1 on 786 computer. Oh,
Damn.
786? No, 486, I beg your pardon.
486.
Yes.
Wow. What's a
So
486? That's like some
it's
old school stuff, is
DOS. It's basically DOS, my friend. When there was no Windows.
it?
So my cousin had that computer. I used to go to his home, and I recall myself like being 5-year-old, perhaps.
Right.
So I was like 5-year-old. My cousin will help me, just like execute the exe for Mortal Kombat, and then I'll play the game. So now that I'm going back in the past, like I have realized that, like, the gaming and the competitive gaming is in the freaking blood of the soil. It's not just that, it's not just about Tekken. It's basically about every competitive game. We are very competitive in cricket, in the world of cricket as well. We had a very great hockey team as well. So, it has been like this, but it's such a privilege that we're sitting on top of the FGC in the world of Taken. That's really, really excites me, and also makes me feel really great, like pride.
Of course,
And
man. That national pride, it's absolutely fantastic to see and stuff. Like that's basically national pride is the reason I got into the Tekken esports when I saw Fergus kind of on like because we had been playing Tekken a little bit, but Ireland has a population of 5 or 6 million. Like we're a tiny little country. Like, and then I saw Fergus. I was like, that's a big Irish flag right there sitting beside his name. Like, I started watching him, and then I was like, okay, there is a scene, like, so I mean, I'm all for national pride, man. And shout outs to everybody who told you to shut up about talking about Pakistan on Twitter. Where are you guys now, like, with your 57 followers and your
my god,
yeah, like fuck those guys. I mean, rep that Pakistani flag and fly it high, man. Like, I mean, now is the best time to do it as well. Everybody understands now. As soon as you, like, I can't imagine, even if you had never played Tekken before, if you just entered a random tournament, like if you were on holidays here in Ireland and there was a local on or whatever, if people had never heard your name but heard you were from Pakistan, people would be like, wait, who's this guy? All right, who does he know? What city is he from? Like, you know, like people would start getting worried, man. Like, you know, this guy's about to start like smashing up our top players and stuff. Like, you know, rep it
Yeah, I
proud,
mean,
man.
it's crazy. It's crazy. You know, and one thing I would like to add, something really interesting that a lot of people really need to know. Like most of the Western people do not know that gaming is not a luxury for Pakistan, first of all.
It's not a what?
And
Sorry.
second, it's not a luxury.
Oh, a luxury, right?
Yes, gaming is a crime in Pakistan for a child who is supposed to be good at the studies. And every time you are going into the arcade thinking, oh shit, I'm I shouldn't be playing video games. That's how you become the legends. Because you're always guilty of playing the game. So now that you're guilty and oh my god, I have to wait for my turn. Oh my god, there are already 5 guys in the queue. I make sure I don't die with this coin. That's what makes them great.
Of
You're
course.
already guilty. People at home already cursing you for playing video games, right? So a lot of these people think that Pakistan will probably have a great support. No, bro, there is no support for gaming. You know, like people have started to understand this. Like the modern, the new generation parents. They have started to understand. Okay, there's an esports. There's definitely gaming is good. But back in the time when I'm talking about, bro, it wasn't the case. Like when I will get back home, I'm always worried that my mother will beat me with a freaking belt or a freaking stick. So
Yeah.
I'm always choosing between these two, and then I will freaking recite something really religious so I don't get beaten when I get home. I'm always
Jesus.
doing some, my tasbih as well, my
So,
countings that God is going to save me today because
all
I'm right
right,
from
yeah.
the arcade.
Wait, can we just go back on something? You said gaming is a crime. Do you mean that in like if you're good at your studies, is there some like rule or law or something about like kids going to arcades or because I know that gambling is like a
It was
very
never encouraged. It was
oh
never
okay
encouraged by the parents,
right the
basically.
like
It's
stigmas and
that's
stuff
that's
yeah
what
yeah
yeah, that's what makes it a crime for the child who's playing himself because he's guilty.
right
He thinks that it is a crime because my parents told me not to come in the arcade.
yeah yeah
So I'm still playing it. And when you are, like broken from within, when you know that, then where the hell are you going to find that motivation? This is exactly why a lot of the legends have died in the arcade. I knew so many great players from King of Fighters. I knew so many great players from Street Fighter 2. I knew great players from games like Art of Fighting 2, man. You
I've
know,
never even
and
heard of that art of
Art of Fighting,
fighting
Art of Fighting is basically SNK. SNK New Geo franchises have been really big in the country, you know, and these guys have a huge reputation in Pakistan arcade. SNK has a great reputation because of the King of Fighters
mm,
series and other some of the fighting games that they have created, like Real Bout, Fatal Fury,
yeah yeah
or what's the name? Art of Fighting, as I mentioned. There were some great players from of Breaker's Revenge. Like all of these games are so freaking underrated, and we had some of the best players. It's crazy, but I must say that it's a great start. I don't think that it's the end for Pakistan. It's a great start. We have finally proven that we are good enough to be world champions, and I really hope and I pray that we continue we keep that dominance. And also I would like to like help increase the chance for this community, this particular community, to get as many opportunities as possible by organizing tournaments. And we're also going to be working on a documentary soon as well. So that's going to be containing a lot of. The documentary is for those who would probably just know about the documentary. It's going to be a very lengthy documentary now,
Yeah.
because yes, it's not just going to include some local stuff, but also will be including stuff from international as well.
Nice.
So it's gonna have a very good narrative. So I want everyone to like just look forward to that. So
Yeah, we had
I'm
Silver
excited.
Fox on for a lock-in. It just got released there. But he was talking about that as well, and
Yeah,
yeah, I think all of the stuff we'll definitely put up the link to the trailer, because the trailer is already out for that documentary.
yeah.
So we're gonna drop a link to that in the description. Definitely go over it if you haven't seen it already. Go give it a look, because I mean it already looks class, dude. All those like drone shots over the city and stuff. It looks so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's crazy. Like, and you know what? Like, you've seen that area where the drone shot is being taken. That is one of those places that I fear the most. You don't know who's coming from that
Oh
street.
really? What is that?
I'm
What
telling
is that
you.
area?
Like, no, I'm just talking about, it's one of those suburbs
Oh right,
that
yeah, yeah,
basically
yeah.
contains someone, because only those suburbs will have those arcades,
Yeah.
sadly. And now that people think, oh, arcade is a good thing, they've started to build some good looking arcade. It used to be a mess though, but it's great to see, like, people have started taking arcade business seriously again. But then again, bro, we were supposed to start this podcast an hour ago, right? And we didn't because of the power backup shit, right?
Yeah.
So the power went off for an hour. These are some of the reasons why people do not want to invest in gaming business.
Hmm.
So this is another problem.
Yeah, like it it happened when I was over there in the mall. Now, it just went down for like 5 seconds or 10 seconds or something, and it came back in. But like,
Yeah,
I think, I don't know, in Ireland, if that happens and it comes back on, everybody cheers almost sarcastically. So I was just
yeah,
at the counter to this pizza parlor, and all the lights went out, and I was like, oh shit. And then they came back on, and I just went, way. Nobody else made
yeah.
that noise. I was just on my own, like, "Wait." Oh, whoopsie, sorry, dude. Like,
Okay, okay.
um,
No, usually people do make some
oh right,
noise
okay.
in those situations. You're absolutely right, actually. People do. But, that was a mall, so people were already expecting that, they will have power backup and it will come back.
Right.
So maybe that's why there wasn't a noise.
Ah.
In arcades, it definitely goes, yeah, right after that, because someone was already in the middle of an FT5
Yeah, yeah,
somewhere.
yeah. Halfway, the best game
So,
of Tekken you've ever seen. But I mean, it happened in
yeah.
the at Takedown as well. Like power, or well, I think the stream was kind of dropping and stuff. Like
Oh yeah,
which
yeah,
it is a pity, but apparently it's like an actual like infrastructure thing. Like the wires themselves are very old and stuff, so it's very
yeah.
difficult to come up with a consistent fix for it.
I think let me state it for everyone who do not know and wonder about Pakistan's power resources mismanagement. So basically, we do not have enough what you call dams to produce electricity. So the governments are like creating more dams to
Okay.
produce a lot of electricity. This is the only problem, basically, that this is why we always have shortfalls of certain units, this amount of units and that amount of units. So it can happen like that. So the only reason why we're struggling with the electricity is that we're not producing it enough.
Oh,
because of not having enough dams.
yeah. Why don't you guys get some solar panels, man? Like, that country's hot. Dude, that
Yeah,
sun just screams down on you guys. Like,
yeah, absolutely. So there are some places that one of my friends, and there's so many other businesses also, they use solars, but and then there's a UPS. They're probably familiar, the extra power backup, whatever. In the some of the arcades, you do have that opportunity, but then there's also that the cost to maintain the UPS, by recharging the batteries, and even that cost.
hold on.
So
Wait.
for someone,
UPS is
for
like.
someone,
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I
yeah,
thought
no problem.
UPS was like the delivery company. What's a UPS then? Is it like a generator?
Y-
Just a backup generator?
Yes, it's more like a backup power source,
Oh, right.
basically.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean
So
to cut you off.
it basically stores the electricity,
Okay.
and through the batteries, and the batteries gets charged, and
Yeah,
all of
yeah.
that stuff. So basically, it's I've forgotten the freaking abbreviation just right now. um but it's okay. But it freaking stores the power
Right. Okay.
when the power is on, but when it goes, it gives the power,
Yeah,
and the
yeah, yeah.
battery needs charging and stuff like that. So people sometimes cannot even afford that. But it has become a pretty necessity in Pakistan now. So yeah, it's like that.
Man, it's wild. And so, what is the crack with Maniacs that it's so good? So obviously, like, I mean, you're talking about that there's arcades kind of all over the country, like, and like you don't know who's kind of coming from which arcade and stuff, like. But
Yeah.
Maniacs seem to have the the most consistent winners, right? Like, like
Yeah.
all of the guys, all of the big Pakistani players that I know, all came out of Maniacs, right? Except for Atif. Atif came from Islamabad. Am I correct in saying that? I could be wrong. Um,
Gujranwala.
oh, sorry. Yes. But
Yeah.
yeah. But now he plays in Maniacs. Am I right?
Lahore. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
No, no, no. He plays in Arslan's boot camp.
Oh,
Let
okay.
me answer to that question. Uh, Let me just state it. Maniacs was found in 2014, 15, I think. So maybe 15, yeah. So before that, there were so many arcades, and it, but the problem was like arcades started to start dying in 2012,
Mhm.
when the business, like, it all started from 2005. 2005 arcades started dying. So by 2010, it was like very least, like, you will hardly find a freaking arcade, because the electricity problems have caused all of these arcade people to shut their businesses and everything. So then, sh- like, due to our sheer passion, me and Zaman, the founder, um you know the owner of Maniacs Gaming Hub, we decided that we used to play in our friends drawing room, right? And we used to have like 8 people within that room, playing with each other on arcade sticks and on PlayStation 3. So we will always have a new player coming in. Whoever is good will have to pay visit there to make sure whether we test out he's good
Right,
for now.
right, okay.
So we were like one of those guys, right? But because we were friends with everyone, right? So we hadn't had that freaking rivalry thing going on. We always, every time we gotten beaten by someone, we welcomed them, and we appreciated them.
Mm.
So this is exactly what used to happen. And then, Zamin came up with the thought that, we should have an arcade. And, Zamin also, a lot of people do not know that Zamin basically took a 10 lakh rupees, at least, probably, similar to like $700 or whatever. I don't know. Like, I
Mm.
don't want to go into a freaking calculation.
Right.
10 grand of Pakistani rupees from his own mother
Damn.
to make that arcade.
To start up Maniacs, yeah.
Yes, to start up Maniacs, and then he found a better investor, and then he expanded the new arcade you guys came in.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was good that we kept the air very competitive. People used to enjoy in our arcade more because we gave them the most you know, most trendy experience.
Well, okay,
And
right. You got-
yes, trendy in a way that, we were the first people to like bring crash bodies. Like you sit there and I sit here,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Face to
So
face
back in
setups.
time, yes, it was like, side by side.
Yeah, yeah.
So a lot of people will come and enjoy playing that way, right? So we gave, and that basically really improved everyone's game because there were some players in Pakistan. Pakistan has a history of having a player who was so good at the game and even better at reading the body language of his opponent.
Right, right.
He used to play and have a cloth over his hands so nobody sees his movement. So it's crazy, man. So with the Crash arcade coming, Crash cabinet coming, it became very convenient for the players to not be bothered about the body language and give their best, and be at the freaking troll game,
Yeah.
be on top of that shit. So so yeah, I think it was a great initiative taken by Zaman, and and then I tagged along because I knew that he shares the same vision as I did, and then all these great players started to come into the Maniacs. They like half of these like Honey is definitely Honey used to play in a different arcade. Then he became the product of Maniacs. The
Right.
John used to play in a different arcade. Then he also became the product of Maniacs. Like Arslan, it's the same for Arslan. He started playing into Maniac, so we gave them that experience, and that we provided them with that atmosphere that was very competitive, and people, all these players started to appreciate, and they started hanging out in that arcade more, which was something that I always wanted.
Yeah.
That the best players hanging out with each other, staying for a whole night in an arcade, bashing each other's like freaking monkeys,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So this is exactly what I always wanted, and I'm glad that it happened back in 2019.
Mm.
When then Honey also went, and he also won against Knee in Rev Major. Oh, what was I always forget? FW Major. I beg your pardon. Yeah, that was the name of the tournament in Thailand.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's great. It's great that that Maniacs was able to like contribute in a lot of that stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, it's not over. It's not just over yet, but I always just like the local sponsors and the international. It is my humble request to just follow Maniacs and try chipping in, because the business is basically running itself on its own, but we're not flourishing. And maybe this is the destiny of someone who basically wants to work for the FGC and esports. And maybe I have accepted it as my fate, and I'll take it because I get so much love from the community abroad. And I got a freaking message from someone in freaking Malta, bro. Like I was like,
Dude,
shit,
the
you
Maltese
guys
community
know?
are awesome, dude. I love those.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you off air about who it is, but yeah, I know a lot of the guys from Malta. But yeah, I mean, look, Pakistan is now, everybody in the Tekken world has their eyes on Pakistan, and like, dude, shout out to what you guys did with Maniacs, because I mean, Like when you look at the amount of people like who run like top eights, like or like as in are in top eights all over the world with the Pakistani flag. Check and see how many of them play in Maniacs, and it's like 90%, 80, 90% of all of the top Pakistani players all come from this one like arcade, and it's like, Jesus, man, how like when we went in there, there was, you know, like the all the best. Like Arslan wasn't there because he was tired or something, but that was like I'm thinking about who wasn't there. Kashi Snake wasn't there. He's my guy though. But oh, he was there actually. I'm lying. But like yeah, it was just like all of the top dogs were kind of sitting around, you know, just playing sets, like not being weird or anything. Everybody is just so super open and chatting and talking about Tekken and stuff. It's awesome. But oh yeah, that was the thing I wanted to ask you about. But King of Fighters, right? That's when I knew you were like a natural commentator. When I saw you playing King of Fighters, because I just stood beside you, and like even as you were doing like quarter circle forward movements, you were hitting them like on the cab like that, and I was just like, damn man, and you were just like, God, I can't believe you got away with that and stuff. It was but was it you or was it Silver Fox was explaining to me about the reaction speeds in Tekken, why Pakistan has like the highest reaction speeds or whatever is because a lot of your guys started from King of Fighters, which is a much faster game.
I don't think like Pakistanis are good because of reaction. Let's be honest. I don't think it's just because they're probably good at the mind games.
Oh, okay.
Because I think if you really ask me, like all these great Japanese players and Korean players, they do not win because they have good reaction. They win because of their great mind games. So I think you know, whoever is young, like for instance, like Tanveer, you know, the Claudio player.
Oh yeah,
You know,
okay, yeah.
he has some serious good reflexes. Why? Because he's young. Arslan had some great reflexes because he was young then. He says that, you know, he need to get himself some glasses now because he's getting his eyes, you know, maybe getting some eyes weakened or something or whatever. But I think it's more to do with the mind games. Like I need to know what I'm expecting from my opponent, um, and I need to make my opponent fall into the traps I laid for him. That's maybe the way it is. A lot of these guys are basically they're pretty much used to playing FT sets, so maybe that also helps them
The longer
to,
sets,
you
yeah.
know, like and the longer sets definitely help you like understand the game more. And then, you know, there's a longer set version of yours and there's a tournament version of yours. So you basically just whatever you do in those last 5 coins in your longer set, you basically do that last 5 coin game in your freaking
In your tournament, yeah.
in your tournament run.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just I'm thinking. I'm not saying it is what it is, but I'm just saying like maybe it's like that.
Yeah,
It's
like
just my own opinion.
it was just wild when I saw the kind of the big thing for like the old school King of Fighters, like King of Fighters 95 and 96 and that sort of stuff, you know. Like I met some guys at the show, and like they were kind of older guys, like they were maybe, you know, in their 40s,
Yeah.
like, and I was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
saying,
that's what I'm saying.
but they were competitors, like they had the
Yeah.
the wristbands and stuff, and I was like, let's go dudes, yeah, they were there for King of Fighters, like, you know. I was like,
So Sam, now funny part is the KOF was dead in my country.
okay,
A lot of these guys, the guys you were talking about, they were in 40s. They don't want to come back to the arcade. They say, fuck it. We don't want to play this game anymore. We've got kids to look after too. I got a wife at home and whatnot. But curse me for this, but I organized a tournament. I took a tournament, an esports platform tournament with the SNK Japan. Okay,
okay,
so I took a tournament for KOF 98 because I knew that that these guys gonna love that game. Half of them have stopped playing, and if I have that tournament, I will get to see everyone,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So I was very excited. So I did that tournament, and guess what? What name did I give to that tournament?
I don't know.
It was called Lost Legacy Heroes.
You're really
So
screaming at the old guys there, like, come back and play this game.
yeah, Lost Legacy Heroes. So I basically brought all of those guys in, and they played and they enjoyed the tournament. We we saw some great matches. We saw some great rivalry in the tournament.
Nice.
Very, very big rivalry. One of those freaking money matches
Oh yeah,
rivalry
yeah,
kind,
yeah.
right? So we got to see those guys in the tournament, and on top of that, then everyone got really excited. Oh my God, we should still be playing King of Fighters. Look, son, I'm on television. I'm playing King of Fighters. Maybe that's how I freaking motivated and corrupted their
Yeah.
souls. So I brought them in, and then with the results after some week, I organized another tournament. It was called Fist Fest,
Fist
right?
fast. Is it?
Fest,
Oh, festival. Right, yeah, yeah, short for fest.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
festival. So it was for King of Fighters 14. So I brought the old guy back in, and I also brought the latest boys
Yeah.
in back in the game. So then after that, when I had everyone, I encouraged the older players to play the new games
Mm.
because they are more competitive, and if they play that game, they can at least win something.
Yeah, yeah.
So a lot of these pro players are still very, very, very good, and they're grinding the game, but it's crazy. Like it's the guy who's doing a freaking Food Panda. Food Panda is an app where you basically deliver the food.
Right, okay.
So a lot of those guys are those guys, man, but they're bloody good at the game, and it will be great to see, like, once we finally have KOF representation abroad as well, and I'm really looking forward to that. It hasn't happened fully yet. Like I will consider a full representation if we get at least four boys from this region competing in a tournament like Evo or a bigger tournament like Combo Breakers or whatever.
Yeah.
So, if we get those sort of representation, I'll be freaking more than confident that we can even win those tournaments as well.
Damn, man, Jesus, it's terrifying. It's terrifying for the rest of the world, man, because like there's so many people like that are just ready to like absolutely smash up a top 8. Like, what? Actually, there's a question. When you're sitting watching like international tournaments with some of those players, do they just sit there and be like, I could kill that guy, man. Put me in front of that guy, like.
I swear to God, this happens. This is exactly how some of the Pakistani players do. Those who are very competitive, especially like players like Aslan and other these are what
Khan and stuff. Yeah.
they will always talk about something. Oh my God, he gave the wrong punish. He shouldn't have done that. Oh, it could have been that. I would have done that.
Yeah, yeah.
But those average guys who basically nobody knows them, you know how they see international players? He's a freaking bonus, man. He dropped that combo. Get that guy out of the tournament, man. Or bring him here. Bring him in this country. We teach him how to play. We like it's not out of arrogance. It's just that how freaking comfortable they are with the game, and the way they perceive the game. I know it's a little bit very exaggerated shit,
Of
but
course, but
it also tends to show their passion towards the game, which is it, right?
I mean, look, if the results were bad, you would tell all of those guys, dude, just shut up. Like, just actually prove it in tournament. But because everybody is so terrified of Pakistan now. Like, I'm like, you can't even call it like exaggerated anymore, man, because nobody knew who the hell Dawood Sikander was until everyone was like, who's Dawood Sikander? Smash, smash, smash all the way through the tournament. It was like, oh, right, okay, yeah, no. Pakistan is kind of swinging for the fences now, like,
One thing, in case you never knew who Dawood was, let me scare the crap out of you. I spent 7 years in the same city playing Tekken and King of Fighters where Dawood comes from.
Right.
And I know that region really well.
Yeah.
So I'm not shocked, right? But yeah, I mean, beating a player like me was such a huge, huge, huge victory, man. It was like I thought that he's probably like, as much as I really trusted his game, I knew he can do it, but I didn't know like how he will do it. And he showed us like how he did it, man. Freaking gets up with 3+4 on Albatross down 2 and does a down 4 as an ender. What the?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
It was wild. It was absolutely like insane.
Yeah, another region where like a lot of the people are sleeping on is Faisalabad.
Yeah.
You guys are yet to see some
Atifs.
of that. So that's no, that's not Atifs. Atifs is Gujranwala. So Faisalabad is Dowd's region.
Right. Okay.
And
Sorry.
which has very very solid representation for. So last time there was a team match between Lahore's team and Faisalabad team, and it came pretty close. Like Lahore won with 5 coins. It was like 30 FT 36 or something.
Right.
FT 35, FT 35. So Lahore won with 5 coins. So you see, like how Faisalabad brought it close. It's crazy.
Damn, man. Yeah, that's that seems wild.
Hey guys, this is Drift. Thanks for listening to this episode of Fuzzy Guard. If you haven't already, subscribe to our social media channels and you'll never miss a shot with Sam. Don't forget to hit that like button or give us 5 stars and share your thoughts in that comment section below.
What was I was gonna start talking to you about like esports in general and how your path is kind of gonna go, or like do you have any like predictions or goals? And because obviously like with Pakistan coming up and that, like it's great for you right now, obviously, as the kind of the mouth of the Pakistani scene, like that you can kind of get around to more shows and kind of spread the word and stuff. But like, do you have any kind of gigs kind of booked up or whatever? Or like, I know that you've the one that I don't know, can we talk about or not, but have you anything kind of booked for like the Tekken World Tour or King of Fighters shows or anything?
Not much, but I'm looking forward to. I'm still within the visa process. I might be attending Emerald Showdown.
Nice.
I'll find it out in a day or so.
Yeah.
Whether the visa thing did well or not. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the local tournaments do not happen very often because people, especially the local sponsors, are not really fully involved, despite we making the waves in the world. But people are still hesitant to like put their money into esports in this country, and maybe it's the case all around the world. But yeah, as for me, I think I would love to attend as many events as possible. All the international events as I can within this year, and from here on. I mean, of course, it's great, Sam. You guys probably, you guys had the opportunity to commentate, many regions, in a tournament. I always got the opportunity to like like commentate my own talent, except the set I had with Steve, or some people who just came to Pakistan to play.
Mm.
Other than those, I haven't had the opportunity. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to attend as many events as I can. But seems like. I will have to plan for a lot of that stuff, and my own financials do not support that at this point.
Mm.
That I should be like, I am not able to travel. So if I get support from the community, and if I get the opportunity, I'll be more than happy to avail all those chances if I can get. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Like I assume you have thought about Europe, right? Like I mean, is Europe easier to get to for you guys than Asia or America?
I think it all depends, like what kind of history you have. As for me, I think it should be easier for me to get visas, as opposed to as compared to a lot of these players,
Yeah.
because I have a degree, I have done schooling, I've got
Oh.
the university done, and of course I have done a lot for. Other than the FGC, I was a passionate filmmaker. I made a 3D animated movie,
Let's
a
go.
short film. It was back in 2016. So people know me a lot because of that as well. And I have been working in the gaming industry, mobile gaming industry of Pakistan. So a lot of people know me that. So I have some sort of internet reputation that I can say, and a certain following on socials that can help me, secure a visa for Europe and America. And of course, I've got summoned by Texas Showdown. I was accepted for Texas Showdown as a commentator, but unfortunately, I hadn't had enough time to apply for the
Yeah,
visa.
yeah, yeah.
So that's why I had to like just drop it off. So I think I'm hopeful that if there are possibilities, probably 80% is the chance that I will get visas.
Sick. Like, because I was just about to say, like, I mean, I won't do it on as we're recording, but after this, man, I'll give you a list of names and stuff of people who like organize shows and stuff in Europe. Um,
Great.
but it would be awesome to see you traveling a little bit more. Like, I mean, what I usually
Yeah.
ask for people is like, how's your kind of life in esports and stuff, but I mean for you guys
Yeah.
that seems like a whole different question. We were talking just before we started about
Yeah.
like the sort of difference between even like
Mm.
some of the UK guys or myself or whatever to travel to events. Like
Mm.
it's we're playing like visas on easy mode here with like with like the UK and Ireland and like even like some of the Nordic countries and stuff, like whereas you guys are like it doesn't matter, like I don't really have to think about visas.
Oh, it was a head stomper, right? In Sweden.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I had applied for that as well. I received an email that they have already scheduled some casters and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So I can completely understand, like, a lot of these organizations, they basically cannot sponsor a player or a commentator just to come for them for their event and stuff like that. I understand, because FGC is mostly hand to mouth, and so I'm expecting that if I ever get the opportunity from, I have applied for a lot of events, so I'm really looking forward to hear from them, and I'm positive that if I get the opportunity, I will be more than happy to pursue all of them, and
Mm.
be there, and imagine if there's a tournament in abroad where just me and Arslan only. Imagine even Arslan will feel comfortable playing a grand final, which I'm commentating for him,
That's it,
right?
man.
Like it's a joke because he's not even going to hear me because of headphones. But I'm just saying psychologically, you know.
Of course.
So I want to be able to, like, cast my own region players like abroad, so they feel like they have some sort of representation for them as well, right? So just like a lot of European players get to have you, Spag, Shahir, and others, KWS, to commentate for all the European guys, and the US folks get their own commentators like Tasty and Rev.
Mm.
So why not? Like I think like I should be able to have that kind of opportunity as well, which I'm really looking forward to whenever it happens.
Mm. Yeah, I do. We'll talk afterwards and stuff, but
Yeah.
like look, I don't want to get into like deep esports stuff, but yeah, I think that like if I'm putting on a show, I think to bring you over would be like a huge high moment. I think it would like maybe like the sort of the hype that you get from bringing like Steve or Rip over or whatever, but I don't know, man. Like to bring you up and put a huge big Pakistani flag behind you and that sort of stuff, it just screams like big Tekken show. As soon as you get some Pakistanis on the bill and stuff, yeah, we'll talk after, but yeah, that's definitely something, man. I'd love to see you at more shows and stuff, because I mean I love hanging out with you. So like let's go do some more shows. Yeah, so that's your kind of world in esports.
And the worst part is like for Sam, we were not able to commentate with each other.
I know,
like, the
right?
whole freaking time. Like that was crazy, man.
The one time we got to
thought,
sit
like,
beside each other, it was when the stream was down. Like,
oh my god,
it was
worst.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to do a set together. But you know, right? Infanax, who's from Dublin, but he was born in Lahore. We had never done a set together. We're both from the same country. The first time we got to do a set together was like top 32 in TAKEDOWN. Yeah.
That's so good, man. That's so good to know. Like, wow. So I mean, I think it's all about fortune and opportunity. Sometimes like like I was really hyped to commentate with Steve.
Of course.
And I got the opportunity to commentate with him and in Maniacs, and I was so hyped. And things like these do not happen every day. So I was trying to make the most out of it, and and of course, as much as these players make a tournament, people often forget that it's the commentators who basically drive the tournament. So it's simple as it is. Like I don't think like commentators get enough appreciation for what they do for their scenes and their communities, but I think it's a great feeling when you're representing your region and you're commentating on a big screen, in a big tournament, and it's always a great experience.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I still have to pinch myself sometimes for some of the shows that I get to do and stuff. Like it's definitely it's a weird world, man, that we're in now. Like
Absolutely.
that I don't know. I'm not very good at the game, and people still decide they want to put me on a stage commentating the best players in the world, like, which is just that blows my mind every time.
I mean, it happens because sometimes I mean, I don't think I am a great player too. I used to be great. I was fucking great. I must emphasize on this. But the thing is, like, even I suck at the game now. Considering all of these competitive players, it's really hard to get into the game now because it requires a lot of practice. But I think what matters the most is the passion towards the game and how you see and visualize those players creating history on the commentary is what means a lot for a commentator. That's how I feel.
So, let's say visas, money, nothing is an issue. what is your dream? Would you rather be a player or a commentator, first of all?
That's a good question. Listen, tell nobody I might be playing Tekken 8 competitively.
Ooh.
Tell nobody. No, the only reason I'm saying that, like, Horang is out and he looks pretty aggressive in an aggressive game. So I have no other method, whatsoever, just to play aggressive. I've been an aggressive player since freaking day one.
Right.
So I think I'll definitely try my chances. I'm not gonna say like, oh my god, I'm gonna create another freaking Ursula Ash moment. No, that's never gonna happen. And I don't know if whether it will happen or not. But as for that, mostly for commentary, I feel like I I want to be able to, like, be part of a Tekken World Tour finals at least once. That's a smaller goal for me now, and to be able to cast with the likes of Markman and Eris. This is my dream goal. Now, my first dream have been accomplished. The second one is still left. Like, I haven't commentated with Rib though. I wanted to commentate with him, but I commentated with Steve, which I'm really happy about. And of course, I want to be able to, like, cast with the boys like Markman and Aris whenever it happens. And of course, I'm looking forward to cast with you and Rukang and Kewis and Gerald.
Dude.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Man, the list is very big. Like Vicious FGC and our what was the other guy's name? The Street Fighter guy we were just mentioning.
James Chen. Is that what you're talking about?
Of course,
Yeah.
James Chen and the other guy you just mentioned earlier.
Jammers. Yeah. Dude.
One of those guys.
Yeah. Dude, Jammers is wild, man, because like I feel like I know Jammers, like we've sat down, we've had like some good chats. He was on one of the episodes here as well. But he is insane for the amount of knowledge he has. Not just like, like in-game knowledge. Like, he knows the move names of like ridiculous stuff that, like, I've heard like other like professional commentators say, like, how do you know that? Like, like
he's literally a freaking geeky commentator.
Yes,
I love that stuff.
But he's the coolest geek. He's the coolest geeky commentator.
Absolutely. And you know what? Like, this is something I really love about the commentary. That, like, maybe I'm just a hype commentator, and maybe I'm not really good at the geeky part, but I kind of mix between both and stuff, but I try my best. But then again, like, we all are different. That's what make a commentary panel interesting, because if there's a hype guy, there has to be someone who's a very geeky guy, and who drops knowledge and lores every now and then. So that's something really amazing that I find in different casters.
I don't know, man. This is a weird subject for me right now, because I got a little bit of feedback on the way I do stuff and that, and people are kind of saying like that I get a lot of stuff wrong and that. So I agree with you there about the hype and the geek style and that, like, but I feel like that everybody up at the top level should be able to do both. Like, maybe not as strong, like, not everybody is going to be as hype as Steve or as kind of analytical as Jammers and that sort of stuff, but I feel like there's a spectrum in which so I'm actually on a mission right now, and I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting it, but I am back in working, grinding out some numbers, just being like, just expanding my sort of geeky knowledge about tech and that, like, so.
I think it's good to have a good balance between both, like, hyping up and the knowledge and lore. I think the third and the most important part is also the lore between players. which is also a very essential part, because audiences definitely like to know who they're watching, and that also give them an insight, through their gameplay, how they like to play and how they're approaching their game. There's a lot, like if we start talking about like how a commentary should be done. Honestly speaking, there is no one way of doing commentary. So everyone, this is why I find that there are good commentators and there are bad commentators. There is no freaking middle stuff in this. Very, yeah, I'm sorry, like it is what it is. Like I know I get a lot of shit if I sometimes I take my local tournaments very casually. You probably would have seen a different SoulDragger in Maniacs than you've seen at the TAKEDOWN.
Yes, yeah,
So
yeah.
so that's how I like to like balance stuff. If I'm commentating an international tournament, I have to be on at my A tier game, and not be too funny, and just like be funny when it's appropriate, and hype when it's appropriate, add knowledge when it's due. So sometimes in international tournaments you have to be like that, but when you're commentating a local, I think it's fine just to experiment with your commentary to learn new stuff.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect word there, experiment and stuff, see what works, see what doesn't, and that sort of stuff. Because I mean, look, what we do is a creative like outlet. So like there
Absolutely.
are 1,000 ways to commentate the same game. And even if
Indeed.
even if I was watching a game that I had already commentated and went to go commentate it, I would do it different, because it's all it's as it happens. It's the thing that you notice or the thing your co-commentator said or whatever.
Yeah.
So I completely agree with that sort of experimentation part of it, that you're like, all right, I'm going to try only point out when he might do a low or something one game, like just try that sort of stuff and see, like but yeah, it's wild. I when you said James Chen, I thought of a story. It was, we were at Evo, right, and the same sort of thing, that like I had watched James Chen, he is the face of Evo, like, right, and one
of my favorite commentators,
he's
that's for sure.
incredible. He's the most like passionate man. Like his emotions are genuine. Like if he's
Absolutely.
if he's excited about something, you can best believe he is legitimately like pumped for that shit, right? But so we went to the PlayStation stage. They were doing this. It was just like talk about like some stuff, right? But as you at Evo, like there's a lot of like booths and stuff where they're selling sticks and body pillows and wall art stuff and that, like, so I'm just strolling around or whatever, and I was talking to a guy and he asked me what I was doing, and I said, oh, I'm a commentator, and he was like, oh, will you be commentating with James Chen? And I said, different game or whatever, right? And he gave me a sticker of his face and he said, well, give that to him if you see him. Right? And I was like, okay, that's kind of weird to just give one of the guys a sticker with his face on it. So I just put it in my pocket or something. I can't really remember of how I got the sticker, but I was talking to a guy and he gave me the sticker anyway, right? But then cut to the PlayStation stage, right? And they're like putting the mic on you and you have to get like the earpiece put in or whatever. And like I was there like 10 minutes before we're about to go live, and I just said, oh, who else are the guests? Fucking James Chen right there, right? So I'm sat on a sofa. James Chen is right there. He has just been announced as one of the in-game AI commentators for Street Fighter, right? And so I'm like, what have they done? Like, just putting me on the same bench as this guy, right? And I swear to God, the entire interview, the whole time, is like, his fucking sticker is going to fall out of my pocket, and then he's going to look down and he's going to see it, and then he's going to be like, why does this weird kid have my face in his pocket? It was terrifying. Luckily enough, nothing happened. He just smoked me in Street Fighter, but God, that sent like shivers to, even as I think about it. I was like, that would have been the most awkward experience of my life.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, talking about James, he's really dedicated. Like he's got plenty of services that he has done for the FTC, and just like Sajam and one of these guys. But I think James Chen is someone to really look up to, and every time you want to learn something, you should definitely be watching James Chen. By the way, he's also doing a different podcast, or no, it's not a podcast. He has a different channel as well. It's called Chen something, where he basically reviews all the fighting games and he tells something more about it. He has a new channel, so I have followed that channel. So every time he goes live and he's talking about Tekken or Street Fighter or whatever else is happening in the community, I always listen to him.
Yeah, no, definitely one of the OGs of the scene and stuff. Like, definitely a big guy. But yeah, I mean, did you have any kind of, who was before you guys? So the team in Pakistan now is you and Silver Fox, yeah?
There was nobody.
There was nobody. Damn, man.
That the worst part is, like, even I was not supposed to be a commentator. Like, I was just a player, man. And people told me that I can be a good commentator, and I did not believe them. I thought they were trolling, but later on, I started off with Taco Cup 2019.
God, that's so recent, man. I just
Yes.
assumed you guys have been doing it for years. Like,
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, before that, I was basically, I started streaming in 2018.
okay.
So I was streaming already. I was probably the most earliest streamer from my country. So a Tekken streamer
Right.
from my country. So, and I think a lot of people were watching me, and and then they had their faith in me at the Chakra Cup. The Game One Esports reached out to me. They didn't ask me if I want to commentate. They told me I'm commentating, and I was like, all right. I was kind of freaking nervous, and then Spag told me, yes, Gosan and Spag were supposed to commentate Chakra Cup 2019. And Spag said to, Gosen said to Spag that are we going to commentate the top 8? Spag said no. He and I going to commentate. And Gosen was, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? With a British accent, right? Are you sure? So he said, and I still am extremely humbly thankful to Spag to showing belief in me that I can do it, and early on he probably saw me and Infinix commentating. That probably gave him more confidence that yes, I can do it.
Yeah.
So, and then he gave me a lot of confidence. He said, just be yourself. And I thought that was the best advice that I needed. And, it worked out well for me. And since then, I've been commentating most of the tournaments in Pakistan. So I was fortunate enough.
Yeah. So there was nobody before you guys. Like, I mean, what happened? Because obviously Tekken has been big since Tekken 3. There's obviously been tournaments, right? Was it just whoever they could find and stuff? Or
it's just that the tournaments in the past were hardly broadcasted, so there was no concept of commentary.
Right?
Basically.
Yeah.
So since they were not broadcasted, so there were of course there were less opportunity for commentators to even commentate. So I got lucky, the way I mentioned. So maybe that's the reason why, like, we do not have enough casters. But I was really, really thankful that I got to meet Silver Fox in the arcade. He was basically supporting one of the tournament I organized for KF14. He was there, He was enjoying himself, and he was freaking louder than I was. Right? So I said, bro, you seems loud. How about you freaking come here and commentate? And that's how we met.
Nice.
And then from the very first experience, I told him that you're gonna be commentating with me from here on in
Nice.
for every KOF. So then we started commentating Tekken as well. So yeah, I mean it was a great experience. So, and he's very helpful, a very 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 kind and generous guy to have along, and he looks after so many of the shit I cannot. So it basically it helps me have better shoulders, but my shoulders do not hurt. Basically, he's carrying some of the most important stuff for me and the communities, which is great.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I always wanted.
No, absolutely. Yeah, he's a really really nice guy. If you guys hadn't seen the Takedown Roundup episode, the Fuzzy Garden Lock-In, it was just released there on the channel. We got Silver Fox in and stuff. He's a lovely guy. I really want to sit down with him and have a big long form chat like this as well. So I'm gonna try organize that. But yeah, he helped us out like the first day when we arrived. Like he brought us into like the mall, and we bought our cheval camise and stuff with him and that. Like, and he was like explaining like how to wear them or where you would wear them and like what not to wear and stuff. Like so.
Yeah, he's really an amazing guy to be around.
Yeah, he's a very very. He seems like a really really cool commentary partner as well. He's very very quick on like breaking down a complex point very concisely, very quickly,
Yeah, because he has that knowledge, and that's the sort of job he also does. He also does a job that helps him do explainers, video explainers. So he's and he has spent most of his time in Dubai, so he is familiar with the language, and it's a lot easier for him to be able to sometimes we complement each other in that fashion. Like if I'm taking too long to explain a certain part, he will always just summarize it for me, and I said, this is it. Yes, this is exactly what I'm talking. And sometimes when he's kind of stuck, I do that, and he said, yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I mean it's great to cast with him. It's absolutely great.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like it. I'd love to sit down and do a set with him as well. Like, God, man, it's there's so many names that I just need to sit on a bench with and just do a set with, man. We should organize like a commentary, a global commentary like meetup or something. Oh, let's do that, yo! Let's get on.
Freaking do it! Like we can definitely do that. But yeah, I am extremely fortunate enough. I think God has been kind. I'm not gonna lie. The first ever tournament that I commentated in, I was not even a great commentator. I was just an average commentator.
That's how we all start.
Even after the first Chakra Cup, imagine getting a message from the guy who commentates the World Finals, Mark Van. He came into my inbox and he said, "I'm a fan of your commentary." I was like, whoop.
Nice.
I was like, wow. I showed that tweet and the message to my people at home. Everyone is so happy. So, it means a lot to you when it comes from someone who you really look up to.
Yeah.
And he's definitely the guy that I really look up to. And of course, we've got tons of services for the FGC in general. And, he does a lot of stuff. So it will be a great. I swear to God, like the guy I'm really looking forward to meet is Markman and Aris. These two guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Markman is a very, very cool guy. He's super knowledgeable about like the global scenes as well, like like the sort of or the global community and that sort of stuff, really, really cool guy. Very, very like established commentator.
He's been around for quite some time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fun. Tell me more about you make video games. That sounds awesome. Like, You make mobile games. Anything I've played?
Yeah, okay. Actually, sadly, those mobile games were for kids. One of those simulators
Mm.
that you make, truck simulators. I've also worked on the hack and slash game. It was hack and slash game, and there were some other games like car racing, stunts, and stuff like that, and dino shooters, FPS shooters,
Cool.
and stuff like that. So I got the opportunity to and I've also worked for a fighting game as well.
Oh,
It is really topping the chart on the Google Play Store currently,
oh damn.
and I was part of that team as well.
What's the name of the
And
fighting game?
I will have. I think it was Clash of Titans, but they kind of changed its name for
Right.
some reason. There was something else. But yeah, it was performing really well. But for mobile audiences, when you're especially making the game for the kids, you're basically kind of bound to do all the childish stuff. Like I've made a game that basically has a Jin Kazama and Sub-Zero in a same freaking game. So. It's crazy when it comes to working for mobile games at times.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And like, so is
Mm.
that kind of what you've been doing? Like, from like that you said you had a degree and stuff. Is that where you're doing CG art like
No,
sort of stuff?
since I was an art student, I was always been a wanderer. I did my bachelor's in film and television,
Right.
and then I was supposed to submit a movie as my thesis, but I chose to. I was already learning 3D on my own, so I wanted to make a 3D film instead of a normal film.
Yeah, yeah.
So that also led me to, since I had learned 3D, so I thought that if I go into the filmmaking and other stuff, there isn't going to be much money. But if I go into the gaming industry, there's definitely going to be money. So I opt for mobile game industry, and then I went straight into that. Like having done a film degree, I landed myself into mobile games and architectural visualization, rendering, and stuff like that, right? So and video production, since I had already done a bachelor degree. So and then I ended up becoming a streamer alongside my job.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so I mean, it was like that. Initially, I had no plan that I will be working for games, but that thesis that basically it led me to work in the mobile game industry, and I enjoy working for games more. So
Of
I thought that this
course.
is it,
That's the dream for a lot of
dream
people, man.
job.
Like, yeah,
Yeah,
you get to make video
yeah,
games. And what do you use
yeah.
to draw? Do you have a Satik or like a thing
Oh,
or?
okay. So basically, I was a production artist. Like I will have to gather all the. I don't have to like make all the characters all by myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The character guy could be a different guy. He's doing his thing. So the final the production and marketing images, that's what I was responsible on.
Sick, dude.
Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
icon, the action poses, right? The art that you guys get to see Jin Kazama standing like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
I'm responsible for those kind of
That's
shirts.
so cool, man. That's so
Yeah,
cool, man.
because
That's
that's something that I always wanted to do. And this is exactly why I started learning character art. But I wasn't really too. I couldn't really too like focus much on that. So
mm,
I had a Cintiq with me, but it's broken now. I will have to do something in order to make it work.
yeah,
So I've stopped my character design learning process.
yeah.
So I paused it.
I used to use a blender a lot. Do you know
Mm.
Blender?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
and I never got like any of those drawing. Like I didn't even like using iPads and
Yeah.
stuff. So I was more on the like poly modeling. But I got
Yeah, yeah.
a job with a VR tech startup to build like
Mm.
landscapes and stuff and like you know, all of the like buildings and just basically poly modeling, like for
I get
grown
it.
ups and stuff. But yeah, dude, it was very fun. I was the same. I wanted to go into video games, but we ended up doing like it was like a tactical training demo and this sort of stuff, and everything was like super real life, and I had to like go with like a tape measure and measure like door frames and stuff and see exactly what. And I was like, no, but I want to make one that's like 20 foot tall and shoots fire out of. And they're like, yeah, you know, but that's like, you know, like, do you get like notes on like your door handle placement? And I'm like, what? Okay, I've just, what the hell, like, you know, can I not have it shooting spikes or something, or you know, transforms into like a gun turret or something, you know? Yeah. So I didn't get my video game design career ended very quickly when when I was like, this is just like a job, like, you know.
Yeah, I know.
But alas, yeah, that's basically the crack there, SoulDragger. I mean, is there
Thank you
anything
so
that
much.
you kind of want to shout out or let people know about and stuff? So obviously you've got a stream and stuff, and we'll
Oh
definitely be
yes.
sharing the links and stuff to that. Your Twitter is right down there underneath your name. Anything else
Oh,
you?
it's so freaking hard to see. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't notice
It looks
because I'm
big.
wearing
It looks
glasses.
bigger on full screen YouTube. Like, don't worry.
Yeah, I know. I know, I know.
But all of those are going to
But
be
yeah,
in the show notes.
I think I would like to say to everyone who's part of the esports and the FGC, please learn to support each other. You're never gonna win every day. You will be losing some days as well. So you know, take them as really positively as much as positive you can, because you know there's already so much wrong going on around the world. So you better be nice and you know spread something nice, like be good to people, you know, in the chat, you know. Just don't, if you really want to say a bad thing to someone, don't say it. You tell yourself that you don't want to say it. Instead of you want to saying it, you know, you better stay quiet, you know, and don't say it. Sometimes people tend to say stuff. If it's not good, it's my humble request, don't say it. I posted a tweet, the worst tweet of my life, just 2 days ago, and I cannot tell you how ashamed I am for that tweet when I heard it from someone else that now that people know me, I shouldn't be posting a tweet like that. And I had to freaking delete it, and I owned that mistake,
Damn.
right? So sometimes when people are watching you, you're responsible for you can be anyone, but remember when people start noticing you and freaking press the freaking bell icon on your Twitter, make sure you say the nice things and you know be good with people in the chat. And you know that's how it should be, right? It's not me trying to freaking lecture everyone about this. Everyone knows about this. So the reason why I discussed this whole thing is that remember this: we are together because of this game. We are a community because of this game, and this game has given us something really beautiful. And we would love to like return it back to the audiences. And you know, and the I don't want to go into like let's not even get into all of those freaking region best region debates and shit like that. You know, it's not worthy. It's not worthy. What's worthy here is that our relationship with the game, with each other. And you know, it's this is something that I always wanted to let it out to people who are watching. Just be nice and kind, be supportive. Remember, tell yourself that only you will only you will be saving FGC. So do all what you can to save this FGC. It's not even considered esports. And remember, esports will one day come to FGC to own it, right? So this is exactly how we should be thinking when we think that we are part of the FGC and we're basically trying to do something for the community and stuff. So start thinking like that. Do not limitize your thinking. Think really broad. Respect every player from each region and respect all the differences too. and just be let's be nice to each other, and just give much love back to the game and the community itself.
Absolutely. Wow, man. What a perfect send off, man. Thank you so much, SoulDragger. We're gonna have everything that we talked about down in the show notes. Remember to head over to SoulDragger's Twitter and Twitch, and just click that little follow, subscribe. The majority of the time it's free and stuff. And thank you so much, guys. Much appreciated. See you all in the next one.
Thank you, sir. Cheers.